All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's jump straight into our water fluoridation investigation. Our government's been lying to us. Surprise, surprise, right? What am I talking about? So, in the last year, when I have gone to city and county leaders and said, hey, let's get the fluoride out of the drinking water, the hydrofluorosilicic acid, which has a pH of 1.2 and is a well known neurotoxin, right? We want that out of the water. City and county leaders say, oh, we can't. Our hands are tied. We're forced to put it into the drinking water. This is not true. And for some reason, it's been extremely difficult for me to break folks of this spell. I've even spoken to various waterworks operators across Virginia regarding this matter, and they themselves think we are forced to put it in because there is a state law. And my response is, if there's a state law, show me the law. What's the code, right? And when they dig into it, they realize there is no state law. So how did they get bamboozled? Well, we've covered this in a previous video, but to put it plainly, there was a Virginia administrative code years back that said may require water fluoridation, meaning that the Virginia Department of Health may require water fluoridation. This is not this Virginia administrative code that was unenforceable. The Federal Safe Drinking Water Act actually prohibits the Virginia Department of Health from requiring fluoride. So, nonetheless, it was in the code, may require, and nobody was smart enough to figure out, can the Virginia Department of Health actually require us to add fluoride into the drinking water? No, people did not look into it, and many waterworks across Virginia have been bamboozled. I'd be interested to know what the legal ramifications of that is. So currently, the way the Virginia Administrative Code is written is it says it says that the board recommends water fluoridation. Actually, it says the board recommends fluoride at the optimal ion concentration as determined by Health and Human Services. Well, Health and Human Services hasn't recommended fluoride since, I think, 2014, right? So technically speaking, the Virginia Administrative Code, VDH doesn't recommend it because HHS doesn't recommend it, right? Okay. Having said that, that's a recommendation, okay? So let's go back to this fallacy that waterworks are required to add fluoride to the drinking water. So, like I said, I've spoken to county leaders and waterworks operators, and I say, well, if you believe that you're required by some sort of law, then show me the law. And they realize that they cannot, right? And when I explain to them how they've been bamboozled, even when I show them the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act and the Virginia Administrative Code, it's still difficult for them to comprehend. So one of the other things that I have said is there's a lot of other waterworks in Virginia that is not adding fluoride to the drinking water. Now, this seems to be a big shock to people, right? And they question me and kind of think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? And I say, just look on the CDC's My Fluoride, and you can see who in Virginia is adding fluoride to the drinking water and who is not. And I say, if everyone in Virginia was required to add fluoride in the drinking water, then everyone would be adding fluoride to the drinking water, but they're not, right? And one other thing that's been helpful is, to prove that these waterworks are not required to add fluoride to the drinking water is because The town of Timberville has voted to discontinue water fluoridation because they believe in informed consent and they do not believe in harming children and babies. And Luray has also voted to remove fluoride from the drinking water. So both of those localities have stopped adding fluoride to the drinking water. But I'm going to show you guys today the CDC's My Fluoride website. I think it's very helpful, and I think it will help break people out of the spell that everyone in Virginia is required to add fluoride. There's a lot of people that think all across the U.S. everybody's adding fluoride and this is what they're doing, when in fact, no, everybody is not adding fluoride across the United States. This is not true. Now, in Virginia, a huge amount of water localities, I should say, are adding fluoride. But why are they doing that? Are they doing that because they've been bamboozled by the Virginia Health Department? Because the Virginia Health Department wrote an ordinance that said may require water fluoridation, and the waterworks have been tricked into adding fluoride? According to the waterworks operators that I've spoken to, that's exactly what happened. They thought they were forced to do it and that VDH had the right to force them, and that is not the truth. I find this to be a major scandal, and I don't know why the news is not covering this, but maybe they will after seeing this. So let's jump straight into the CDC's My Fluoride website, so you know how to access the various information and prove that it's up to the locality to decide whether or not to add fluoride to the drinking water. This is not forced on everybody in Virginia, and there's a lot of localities in Virginia that are not, in fact, adding fluoride to the drinking water. Okay, let's get into it. Over to the CDC's My Fluoride. I thought I would show you this. Here's a map of the fluoridation rate from state to state. Now, this hasn't been updated because, for example, Florida, they've banned fluoridation in the entire state. But you can scan over and you can see, according to this map, 96% of Virginia has fluoridated water, receives fluoridated water. But over here in Montana, we have 33%, Idaho 31%, 26% in Oregon. So you can see the various states. So you would expect that in states such as Montana, they would have a higher rate of tooth decay than, say, Minnesota, right? That the carrier's rate would track, and it doesn't, because fluoride makes your teeth harder, but it also makes them more brittle and prone to cracking. And we can't be so narrow-minded to think about, well, okay, let's pretend like ingesting fluoride does prevent cavities. Let's say it prevents 50% of the cavities. Well, if you're brain damaged, then that's kind of a problem, right? Because fluoride is a neurotoxin. It reduces your IQ. It harms your thyroid. So anyway, let's jump over to CDC's My Fluoride. Okay, guys, let's jump into CDC's My Water's Fluoride. So just type in a Google search for CDC's My Water's Fluoride, and right here we have the MWF My Water's Fluoride home, and you'll see there's a map. So if we zoom in, we can go over to Virginia, and what we're going to do from here is go to fluoridation reports. And then I'll zoom in here for you guys. and then go to fluoridation status report. From here, what you can do is a word search for the word no, and it will help you easily locate all of the localities that do not add fluoride to the drinking water. So you can just scroll down and it'll tell you the population being served. So most of the localities that do not add fluoride, you can see it is a small population. I want to show you something that I thought was interesting. We have lots of waterworks in Hanover County do not add fluoride to the drinking water. And yet, Hanover County, the Board of Supervisors over there, they are, they say that they want fluoride in the drinking water, but do they? Because look how many of their waterworks does not, in fact, add fluoride to the drinking water. So anyway, I encourage you guys to... Okay, so there we have it. Evidence that municipalities are not, in fact, required to add fluoride to the drinking water in the state of Virginia. There is no state law, okay? So it's left up to the local governments. Now, the next video I should discuss how, imagine if you had, for example, the town of Timberville. They have voted to remove fluoride. Or let's say the Hanover County, so you saw some of the waterworks do not add fluoride to the drinking water. Imagine if they were adding fluoride to the drinking water, right? Imagine if somebody just decided it. Imagine if maybe the waterworks operators decided to start adding fluoride, or maybe the DPU director decided, well, we're going to start adding fluoride, or perhaps even the Board of Supervisors decided that they're going to start adding fluoride. Would that be considered a crime, right? We're going to tackle that. So stay tuned. Bye, guys. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll see you next time.